So, MacBook versus iPad. Which device should you pick up for school or work productivity? Now, on the MacBook, we have the MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air, and Apple just recently discontinued the regular MacBook, so it simplifies the lineup better. So, it's easy for you to decide. Now on the iPad, it's a little bit more complicated. You have the iPad Pro, the iPad Mini, the regular iPad, the iPad Air. Now going over the iPad device lineup, which one is perfect for you, which one is best for you. The regular iPad starts at $330, so that is affordable for an iPad. You're going to get iPad OS coming in the fall, which I'm going to talk more about in a little bit. You do have Apple Pencil support. It has a very, very capable chipset, which is the A10 chip. It's not the fastest in the world, but it's just going to get the job done, and it's perfect for media consumption, taking down notes. It's going to definitely get the job done. The display is non-laminated. It's a little bit thicker. You don't have a flash on the camera. It's just something to get started with, and it's affordable. Now, as for the iPad Mini is a little bit more top of the line because you have the A12 chip, so it's more powerful than the regular iPad. The device is laminated. You do have Apple Pencil support, and when I mean Apple Pencil support, I'm talking about the first generation, not the second gen. We're going to talk more about that too towards the iPad Pro side. And yeah, yet again, it gets the job done, and it's more portable, coming at 7.9 inch compared to the 9.7. It's like a perfect size to take with you on the go, but maybe you want to need more canvas and more room to work with. The iPad Mini is probably not as good, but try it out in the store, see if it's right for you. Now, talking about the iPad Air 3, this is a little bit more bang for your buck. It's not too skin and bones, it's not too low end, it's just perfect. It's the middle tier, and it's not really too expensive, coming at $500. The screen size is a 10.5 inch display, so you have some room to work with the Apple Pencil, and you do have the smart keyboard support too, so you can hook up a keyboard from Apple and you can just type all your notes too. So the smart keyboard is very, very convenient to just connect it and go. No need to charge it up, no need to pair it up or put it into parent mode. So it's a little bit more easier for productivity, and the iPad Air is not really a bad deal at all, and you get in the A12 chip too, so very, very capable. And with iPad OS coming in very, very soon, coming this fall, the iPad Air is really no slouch in terms of performance, and the display is laminated, so everything is right there, like the pixels is right in front of you. Okay, now stepping up from that, if you want the top of the food chain, you got to go with the iPad Pro. Now the iPad Pro has a ProMotion display, so 128 hertz. You get the brand new design, nearly bezel-less display, which is a selling point for me, because if you're buying an iPad, you want the coolest iPad out. Now, some people don't care about that, but all the iPads are very, very capable of getting the job done. But this iPad right here is really aimed for the professionals. You do have Type-C connection, quad speakers, so it's going to sound a lot more better, a lot more punchier. And overall, the iPad Pro is a whopping $800, and that's the starting price, and we didn't even configure it to the storage, which we're going to talk about that too on this video too as well. So yeah, but in terms of the iPads, I would say the base iPad is perfect if you're going to school, especially you're going to get that college discount. It's going to be easy on the wallets. Getting the base iPad is definitely going to get the job done. But if you're going to be doing a lot of drawing, like a lot of heavy duty drawing, you might want to pick up an iPad Air or even the iPad Pro. And really with the base iPad, it either comes in 32 gigabytes or 128. That might not be enough, especially if you use apps like Procreate or Notability. It's going to add up really, really quickly. So you want to save yourself and get at least the 128 gigabyte model if you're going to go with the iPad, the base iPad. Now, you're going to have to step up a little bit more in order to get the 256 and stuff like that, the high-end storages configuration. But if you're going to be taking notes every single day, if you're going to be drawing every day, I recommend the iPad Air, just because of the larger canvas. You have more room to draw, and you also have a faster processor, so it's going to be a little bit more smoother. Because as I'm thinking about it, if you're going to be in school, you're most likely going to have two apps at once. So you're going to have Notability on the side. You might want to have like a Safari window on the side too, so you have two apps at once, and then you can even open up another app as a bonus, and it's going to allow you to do that thanks to the A12 power. It might have some trouble doing that with the A10 chip. When I got this iPad, I just went with the 32 gigabyte configuration and the storage. I'm having some storage issues, man. I can't even update my apps. It's horrible, man. Don't get the 32 gigabyte storage. It's gonna haunt you, man. And not to mention, think about how long you're gonna have the iPad. Now switching gears to the MacBook side. Now the MacBook is way more simplified than the iPads. You have the MacBook Air and you have the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Air, if you're gonna be doing a lot of word processing, checking the textbooks online, Blackboard, or just watching YouTube video media consumption, I recommend the MacBook Air. It's more than powerful for you to get through your day, and the battery life is spectacular. And I know there's a lot of reports going on with the MacBook keyboard, but right now the 4th generation butterfly mechanism keyboard, there's no problems whatsoever yet. There's no reports. Apple is running a program, so if you have any problems with your keyboard, you could take it to Apple and they're gonna fix it for you free of charge. So that's good for Apple, and it's not really good for Apple, but it's good for you, the consumer. So yeah, so that's the MacBook Air. Light use, word processing, surfing the web, watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix. That's the MacBook Air. More than powerful for you to get through your day. And all the MacBook Airs feature a dual core processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the storage configuration, if you're going to do a lot of word processing and a lot of YouTube watching and Netflix, you don't really need that much storage, but I always recommend having as much storage as you can because you're going to have this laptop for quite some time, as well as the iPad. You don't want to run into no storage issues down the road, but yeah, that's just me. Now switching gears to the MacBook Pro. Now the MacBook Pros, if you're taking the Adobe suite, so if you're taking Photoshop class, Dreamweaver, InDesign, Illustrator, go with the MacBook Pro because you're going to need that power. You don't want your computer lagging all over the place. The MacBook Pro is going to handle it really well. And this thing, I had this computer since 2015. This is the 2015 MacBook Pro, and it's very, very capable now. So I highly recommend the 2015 MacBook Pro because you have all your ports. You have the SD card reader on the side. You have your MagSafe. I really do love this MacBook Pro a lot. I might even make a how long I had this laptop for? I had it for like 4 years now, and it's still going strong in 2019, getting into 2020. So yeah, so go with the MacBook Pro if you're going to be doing a lot of intensive work, video editing, you're going to be doing a lot of digital creation on your computer. That's the MacBook Pro. You got to get the MacBook Pro for that. And all the MacBook Pro models feature a quad-core processor. All of the models has a touch bar, so yeah, that's really cool. Maybe easier for you if you're new to the macOS software. Overall, you're paying for the power, and it's definitely going to pay off. So we have macOS versus iPad OS. Now, iPad OS is still in beta. It is coming out sometime in the fall. And the best thing I could say with that, it just comes down to you. If you're taking Dreamweaver, if you're taking like the Adobe suite programs where you need to have full-blown Photoshop, full-blown Illustrator, you don't have no choice to go with the MacBook Pro. You got to go with that one because the iPad, sadly, I heard Photoshop is coming to the iPads, but that just never happened. But if you're taking classes like, you know, social studies, criminal justice, something that's simple, accounting, where it doesn't require the Adobe suite to get through the class, an iPad is literally perfect. The iPad with the Apple Pencil is a perfect combo for a classroom because the iPad is small enough to fit on your desk. You can easily write down notes. You can look at the textbook online. But I recommend talking to your professor or your teacher first before you just go out and buy an iPad because some professors or teachers don't like the iPads and tablets in the classroom because if you think about it, an iPad is like a larger iPhone. Whatever you could do on your iPhone, you could do that on your iPad just like down the fly. So talk to your professor first before even making that purchase or contact them because you might buy it and then they said no iPads allowed in my class and then now you can't use it now. And quick little story behind that, I took out my iPad Pro one time. I jotted down some notes, and Notability, you can record the professor, so if you can go home and listen back to that recording, you know, I was doing the right thing and I got in trouble out of nowhere. The professor said, "Hey, no tablets allowed in my classroom, put it away." You know, I got in trouble, man, and you know how it is when you get in trouble in the classroom. So I had to put it away. And I didn't bring no notebooks. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't bring no notebooks. I was just only rocking out with my iPad. I think I was trying to make a video showing you guys that you can use an iPad Pro only in the classroom, and I'm just showing you guys how perfect it could be. But yeah, so now I'm gotta ask for a piece of paper, a pen, and I have to take it the old-fashioned route that uses Blackboard. You can open up the Blackboard on your iPad and have that textbook or have the instructions on the side, and then have Notability on the other side taking down notes, and you can record the professor. It's literally a perfect combo. I cannot stress that enough to you guys. So if you're taking regular classes like math, social studies, science, go and pick up an iPad. And one thing I like about all the iPads now, all of them is compatible with the Apple Pencil. Now the iPad Pro is only compatible with the Apple Pencil too. Back in the days, you had to go out and get an iPad Pro just to get the Apple Pencil to work. But now, in 2019 and beyond, that is just not the case. You can pick up any iPad and accomplish the same thing like back in the days when it was just only the iPad Pro for Apple Pencil. So now, yes, I know I didn't talk about the cameras of the iPad or the size, the exact weight, but all the iPads are light enough to carry inside your book bag. The laptops too, they light enough too. Although the laptop is going to be a little bit more heavier, but if you combine this with a keyboard, it's going to probably feel just about the same, maybe a little bit lighter, depends on which iPad you pick up. I hope this video helped. I did the best I can, but I cannot predict because everybody is different. Everybody is a different student. You might take some graphic design classes, or you might take criminal justice classes, but I hope I gave you guys the best scenarios. And yeah, if you guys did find this video helpful, I appreciate it with a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think. And other than that, it's your boy Pops, and I hope you guys have a simple day. Peace.